Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Welcome to all of you in Network Professionals, the Cisco Networking Academy, and I am your instructor, Ahmed Malik.
Welcome to CCNA Introduction to Network Lecture 12. In our previous lecture we discuss about Cisco device basic configuration, how to change Cisco device hostname and banner setting. We also discuss about Cisco device security. And we learned about how to set console, VTY, privileged exec password. And in the last we covered password encryption. Our today's topic are how to save Cisco devices configuration. What is temporary or running config? What is startup config or saved configuration? How to alter configuration. And lastly we will learn how to capture configuration in the form of text file. So without wasting time, let's get configuration changes to Cisco iOS-based devices are made to the running configuration. This working configuration should be backed up to support network recovery. This section examines some of the methods used to back up and restore the running configuration on Cisco iOS devices. You now know how to perform basic configuration on a switch, including setting passwords and banner messages. This section shows you how to save your configurations. There are two system files that store the device configuration. Startup config, this is the saved configuration file that is stored in NVRAM. It contains all the commands that will be used by the device upon startup or reboot. Flash does not lose its contents when the device is powered off. Show startup config privileged exec mode command is used to view this configuration file. Running config, this is stored in random access memory, RAM. It reflects the current configuration. Modifying a running configuration affects the operation of a Cisco device immediately. RAM is volatile memory. It loses all of its content when the device is powered off or restarted. Show running config privileged exec mode command is used to view this configuration file. To save changes made to the running configuration to the startup configuration file, use the copy running config startup config privileged exec mode command. Some short commands and short keys can also be used for saving configuration file, but those commands does not work in examination hall. If power to a device is lost, or if a device is restarted, all configuration changes will be lost unless they have been saved. To save changes made to the running configuration to the startup configuration file, always use the copy running config startup config privileged exec mode command, whenever make any change in Cisco device configuration. Also keep in mind that changes are only made in running config file and then saved in startup. Alter the running configuration. If changes made to the running config do not have the desired effect and the running config has not yet been saved, you can restore the device to its previous configuration. Either by removing the changed commands individually or reload the device by using the reload privileged exec mode command to restore the startup config. The downside to using the reload command to remove an unsaved running config is the brief amount of time the device will be offline, causing network downtime. When a reload is initiated, iOS detects that the running config has changes that were not saved to the startup configuration. A prompt appears, asking whether to save the changes. To discard the changes, enter N or No. Alternatively, if undesired changes were saved to the startup config, it may be necessary to clear all the configurations. This requires erasing the startup config and restarting the device. The startup config is removed by using the erase startup config privileged exec mode command. After the command is issued, the switch prompts you for confirmation. Press enter to accept. After removing the startup config from NVRAM, reload the device to remove the current running config file from RAM. On reload, a switch loads the default startup config that originally capture configuration to a text file. Configuration files can be saved and archived to a text document. The following sequence of steps ensures that a working copy of the configuration file is available for editing or reuse later. For example, assume that a switch has been configured, and the running config has been saved on the device. Follow these steps. Step 1. Open terminal emulation software, such as PuTTY or TerraTerm, that is already connected to a switch. Step 2. Enable logging in the terminal software and assign a name and file location for saving the log. File. Step 3. Execute the show running config command, or the show startup config command at the privileged exec prompt. Text displayed in the terminal window is then placed in the chosen file. Step 4. Disable logging in the terminal software. The figure shows how to disable logging by choosing the None Session Logging option. The text file created can be used as a record of how the device is currently implemented. The file might need to be edited before being used to restore a saved configuration.
That's enough for today, and stay connected for all upcoming videos. Thank you very much.